Have you ever felt that that really deep sense of wonder?
Yeah.
Looking up at the night sky maybe, or just thinking about how incredibly complex life is
Oh, absolutely.
and thinking there's got to be something more here.
Yeah, something unseen maybe,
Right.
kind of pulling the strings.
Exactly. And what's really wild is that sometimes the most, surprising answers, they don't just come from old wisdom. Sometimes they pop up right from cutting-edge science.
Pretty fascinating.
So for this deep dive, that's what we're exploring. This amazing intersection between science and spirituality. We're drawing a lot today from Rabbi Shlomo Ezagui's piece, Walking with God in a Quantum World. It was on the Times of Israel blog.
A really thought-provoking article.
It really is. And our mission really is to see how quantum mechanics, this whole world of invisible energy and patterns, how it might give us a really personal way to, deepen faith, connect with things we can't touch.
Yeah, the intangible.
And look, you definitely don't need a physics degree for this. Trust me. This is more about finding those aha moments, right? Seeing surprising links and getting a fresh angle on the universe and kind of where you fit in it all.
And it's interesting how Rabbi Ezagui connects this to older ideas, too. Like Maimonides suggesting that scientific study isn't just about the physical.
Right.
It can actually be a way to sort of observe and connect with the spiritual side of things. And he argues that quantum mechanics, because it deals so much with the unseen, is maybe a perfect place to start that journey.
That's a really powerful idea. Okay, so if science can open that door, where do we even start with quantum mechanics itself? Like, what's the basic concept we need to get?
Well, the core idea, really, is that this world we see, the one that feels so solid and, predictable,
Yeah.
underneath it's actually this huge ocean of hidden energies and patterns. Everything, fundamentally, is what he calls intelligent energy. It's constantly shifting, interacting.
Wow. Okay, so not so solid then.
Not at the quantum level, no.
Yeah.
Much more dynamic than what our senses usually pick up.
That kind of reminds me of an analogy I heard once, like trying to predict where a remote-controlled car will go.
Okay.
You watch it, you see the patterns, and mostly you can guess its path, right? But then, bam, it does something unexpected, a little surprise turn.
Right.
And classical science is often like that. Observing patterns, making predictions, super powerful stuff.
Incredibly powerful.
But it sometimes struggles with the why, Why those patterns? What causes the unexpected stuff? The why behind the how?
Precisely. And that's exactly where quantum mechanics goes deeper. Down at that fundamental quantum level, you don't really find things in the way we think of them.
No solid objects.
It's described more like a dance. Invisible particles and waves just flickering in and out of existence.
Blurring.
Yeah. You can't see them directly, but you see their effects. Like, there's wind because the leaves are moving, right? Even though you can't see the air itself.
Okay, I get that.
Physicists call the underlying reality quantum fields. Think of them as the sort of fabric that all particles pop out of and interact within. It's the medium for everything that happens.
Quantum fields, the fabric of reality. That's a big thought.
It is. It's the energetic bedrock, essentially.
So if these fields are the foundation, this brings us to maybe one of the most mind-bending ideas in physics, the idea that matter and energy are kind of the same thing.
Exactly. Thanks to Einstein, right? EMC1.
Yeah.
Solid matter is just energy that's, super condensed, packed together.
Right.
And this is where the science starts to sound remarkably like some spiritual insights.
How so?
Well, in the Torah, for instance, there's this idea that God allowed a portion of himself, let's say, to become the universe, to sort of condense into the physical dimensions we know.
Interesting parallel.
It implies this deep truth that you, me, the sun, the moon, literally everything is made from the same basic stuff, the same fundamental energy, just shaped by these universal quantum rules.
So fundamentally, God, energy, the universe, it's all made of the same stuff.
That's the implication, yeah. Pretty profound when you think about it.
It really is. And it's amazing that all the complexity we see comes from such, apparent simplicity. Physicists have found only 4 basic forces, right?
That's right. 4 fundamental forces. Gravity, electromagnetism, and then the 2 nuclear forces, strong and weak.
And they control everything.
Literally everything. And then there's the discovery that particles seem to exist in just 3 different energy states.
Just 3.
Just 3. And how they interact and combine based on those states explains, well, pretty much how the whole cosmos works.
Wow. 4 forces, 3 states, simple building blocks for everything.
And Rabbi Ezagui points out this really intriguing connection here, these numbers 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They surprisingly mirror the structure of God's ineffable 4-letter name in Jewish mysticism, especially how the last 3 letters relate to the whole name.
Whoa, okay, so not just a coincidence in his view.
He sees it as maybe something deeper, like a hint of an underlying design, a kind of divine signature woven into the blueprint of the universe.
That's a powerful connection to draw. And you can see how for many people, these scientific findings about unity really resonate with spiritual ideas.
Absolutely. This idea that everything comes from some unseen fundamental energy. It lines up so well with teachings about a single source, a single consciousness behind it all.
Like Hashem Echad God is one in Jewish tradition.
Exactly. And, even scientists who aren't necessarily religious often express this sense of awe.
Yeah.
Just pure awe at the elegance and the mystery of how the universe is put together.
You hear that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, look at the debates in theoretical physics. Are things like Schrödinger waves, which just describe probabilities, are they actually real? Or just useful math?
Right, that's a fascinating question itself.
It is, and the fact that they even debate it shows that even the most rigorous scientific minds grapple with these fundamental, unseen forces shaping reality. It inspires this wonder.
So, okay, bringing this back to us, what does this all mean? Quantum mechanics isn't just, giving us faster computers or something.
No, not just that.
It's inspiring this marvel, the sense of profound unity. It reminds us we aren't separate from the universe. We're actually expressions of its deepest energies.
Literally made of stardust, as they say. The same fundamental energy that makes galaxies.
Which is incredible.
And this leads right into the really personal connection, doesn't it? This idea of walking with God.
Ah, yes. The core message.
The core message. If God is the source of everything, then God becomes the underlying force of the entire universe.
Yeah.
That includes you, me, the sun, the moon, everywhere.
So God isn't just out there somewhere.
No, God is all around us.
Yeah.
And maybe even more profoundly, God is in all of us.
That's a huge shift in perspective for someone who feels alone, maybe abandoned or invisible.
Exactly. So many people carry burdens completely alone, right?
Yeah.
Especially if people they relied on let them down. But the powerful lesson here, the one illuminated by these ideas, is that even in those absolute loneliest moments, you were never really alone.
You mean God was there?
God was present. Not just watching from way up high,
Yeah.
but right there beside you, in the silence, in the tears, in the struggle.
That resonates with Scripture too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Deuteronomy 31:6 is so powerful here. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you.
He will not leave you or forsake you.
And importantly, this isn't presented as like a temporary offer. It's framed as an everlasting covenant.
Meaning it doesn't depend on how well you're doing.
Exactly. God's presence isn't based on your performance.
Right.
Whether you feel strong or totally broken and scared, he's with you.
So acting as if God is walking beside you, it doesn't mean life gets easy, does it?
Not necessarily easy, no, but it means you don't face it alone. That huge weight of having to figure everything out yourself, it lifts.
And maybe the fear of failure shrinks a bit because the outcome isn't solely on your shoulders.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's in a very deep way, in God's hands. If he's with you, you have what you need for whatever's next.
It makes me think of like a little kid holding their parent's hand really tight in a busy place.
Yeah, that's a great image.
They walk differently, right? Like not worried about getting lost or bumping into people. They just feel safe, secure, guided.
That's it. When someone truly gets that deep, quiet confidence that God is always there, they walk differently through life. Knowing they're held, they're led by the one who knows the way.
It really reinforces that idea that you're here for a reason.
Yes, created with a purpose.
Yeah.
Your very existence proves your destiny is real.
There's that incredible story about Rabbi Levi Yitzchuk, Rabbi Schneerson's father.
Oh, yes. Facing the Stalin regime.
How did he do that? Stand up to such immense oppressive power?
Well, the understanding is it wasn't just his own personal strength. He had this deep internal conviction that he was simply a channel.
A channel.
A channel for the powerful will of the Creator. That knowledge that he wasn't acting alone, that's what fueled his incredible courage.
Yeah.
So living this way means really letting God's presence be your foundation, your fuel.
So faith isn't just about feelings then. because feelings come and go.
Exactly. It's not about waiting for a feeling. It's about choosing to walk with confidence, even if your senses, your circumstances, are screaming the opposite.
Trusting that even when it's silent, even when it hurts, he's there, guiding your steps.
You might not see the whole path laid out, but you have his presence.
Yeah.
Always. Unwavering.
And tying this all together, there's that line about Moshiach, the Messiah figure, from the Yalkut Shimoni.
Yes, that powerful proclamation. Humble ones, your redemption has arrived.
And in the challenge, if you do not believe, see the light shining upon you.
See the light. The idea is profound. That illuminating light of divine presence, of purpose, it's always there.
Available for anyone who chooses to see it.
Exactly. Illuminating our way even when things seem darkest.
Okay, so let's sort of recap where we've landed. This deep dive, it's really shown how science, specifically quantum mechanics and spirituality, aren't really separate domains.
No, they can actually let each other up, reveal this unified, interconnected reality.
Where this underlying intelligent energy connects literally everything, from the tiniest particle to the biggest galaxy.
A truly holistic view.
So it really encourages you, the listener, to think about what this means personally. Take a moment, maybe later today, just to reflect on this idea. You're not separate from the universe's deepest energies.
And that divine presence, it's constant, always with you, every step, every challenge.
So here's a final thought to maybe chew on. If all of existence, and that includes you, is fundamentally made of the same energy, and if that energy is connected to a divine source, how might truly internalizing that change the way you see things? How might it transform how you look at your daily challenges, maybe your relationships, or even your whole sense of purpose in the world?